Carol here, and how are you today? Warm welcome to my craft room. So many things have gone on in the last month, and I sat down trying to work my way through these issues that, well, actually one particular issue that occurred a few weeks back that really threw me for a loop. And as I'm putting this down, I'm using my oxide inks. You can tell I just smushed them into my Tim Holtz glass mat there on the side, and I stamped this Power Poppy image. It is the Dahlia XL, and I'll leave everything on my blog so you can link over quickly to see it. So I stamped it with 3 leaves, and I embossed it with white embossing powder, and then I'm just going to play around with the colors, moving them out. And I'm not, at first I was being careful to make sure that I didn't go over the edges, but then I thought, speed it up, Carol, because I'm going to do the whole panel with oxide ink colors. So I just took my paintbrush, any paintbrush will do. I think this is a number 10 or 12, probably a 10 when I'm looking at it here, and I'm smushing it down. But anyway, I had an unfortunate incident that I'm going to talk to you one-on-one that happened to me that I was very disappointed with a particular incident that was unnecessary and very unfortunate and very unprofessional. And so it took me a while to get, just to move past it. And it does affect when something like this from supposedly another professional gets in the way and, does something just so unseemingly hurtful that you find it impossible to get back to creating. And that was the spot I was in. And like I said, when I find I have the right time and it's the right place to be able to share with you what happened, I certainly will, because you're a great inspiration to me, all my subscribers. And so what I did to kind of move forward is I made a lot of cards, and kind of all at the same time. That's why in this edit you'll see things off to the side that are for other cards I'm going to put up. So let's move along and set that issue aside. So I'm having fun here with the oxide inks, and I did get, hello, be careful. Be careful, he may pop up at any time. And flowers, I love flowers. I showed you at the beginning of the tutorial, I always try to have a nice bouquet of flowers in my craft room and in my bathrooms. I think it's so pretty to have that smell. So I took a picture of a couple of them and put them up. And that's why they're at the beginning of this tutorial. So now, as you can see with oxide inks, they actually go on 140-pound cardstock wonderfully. This isn't watercolor paper too, by the way. And to my new subscribers, a warm welcome. And we are going to put up quite a bit of tutorials this week. So this is a die that I have 2 of them. I have a Tim Holtz as I'm growing a flower there. I have a Tim Holtz die like this with the jagged edges, kind of like a distressed die. And I have this, and like I said, everything will be on my blog. And see how I work that water bucket where you press that blue button and all the water goes down, and then new refreshed water in the long thingy dingy sticking up there comes out and gives me fresh water. So here's some of the oxides, a bit of everything around me, which is unusual. So after I finished completing this beautiful dahlia, I took this set from the smallest cut up to the largest cut, and I just cut them out one at a time, starting with the large one, obviously, and working my way down so that I could do a stair-step technique with the dahlia, which I think is so super special. But at the same time, I was doing 2 other cards with this image. So I was trying to edit. So I didn't have, it would be a surprise when I put the other tutorials up for you. And I also did, it includes these 2 dies separate for a sentiment. So I did one with my 40-pound Stampin' Up! vellum, and I did one with my black, which has baby wipe already prepared. I decided to do that and leave it off to the side, so you always have a baby powder, black, or whatever you have other than baby powder. I have it ready to just put your sentiment on and die cut it, and you can see I've already done that with the smaller of the dies, and we will move on. I don't very often work with different cards going at the same time, but I think because I was trying to work past this situation, this very hurtful situation, my mind, I just wanted it to be absorbed in many things. I wanted to keep busy. And so creating for me was the thing to do. I stayed out of the craft room for a while, and then I came back in and created some cards, which you'll see going up this week. And here I put Just For You. I also work with LDRS Creative Dies in this. Love her Angie stamps and dies. And I want to put a great big shout out that Angie Hunt will be on HSN tomorrow, I think in 5 spots. You don't want to miss it because the interactive dies. She's coming out with these fantastic interactive dies. You're going to be over the moon with it. So it's on HSN tomorrow. That's Wednesday, the 15th of August. So here I put Just For You, and I thought I grabbed the white embossing powder, and it was clear. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I was really surprised. Then I went to my stash and I found that this beautiful, I think it's We Are Memory Keepers, that 3D really, oh, it's a real deep emboss. And it was the floral image. So I did 2 cards using this. And the one card, I did a fantastic technique that I think you're going to love with your gelatos. And in this technique, I wanted to do a stair-step technique with the dahlia. So both of them are completely different cards, night and day, so to speak. So I thought that I would set the dahlia on top of these flowers, even though it has this gorgeous raised up image. It just fit perfectly. And it took me a little while to really get what I wanted to do with it, you know, whether I wanted it horizontal, whether I wanted it vertical. But if you do this, make sure that you set it aside in the right order. It's so easy because you're stair-stepping it and adding, you know, you'll do wet glue for the first one, then you'll add your double-sided tape. I use the Scotch roll, then you'll double it up, triple it up, and go from there until you get to the end. It's a really pretty look, you know. It has the wow factor without really a lot of work. So that's awesome. And I worked on a couple of cards even this morning before, as I was finishing the card I'm going to put up next. It allowed me the opportunity to just follow on with another concept card using the same products, but I'm telling you, they don't look like one came after the other. They're so different and so pretty. And, you know, I need pretty right now. Yeah, I need some, you know, some encouragement because I tell you what, you can't. People are going to disappoint you. Yes, they are. You might as well get used to it in life. I'm 64 years old. I realize that. But when these are, you know, people that you trust with YouTube and you're working past tense with, it becomes very distressful when something happens. But I don't want to say anymore because I do want to do a one-on-one. I am more of a person, I don't like to handle things behind the keyboard, okay? I like to handle things if there's any issues with a face-to-face conversation, to speak things out, you know, not to take cowardly ways out or in or whatever. And let me say this. I don't like to do third-party things as well. And I know I'm adding little things here and there, but when a situation happens, I'm making the card, by the way, I'm adding 3 or 4 layers of different colors to match the colors that I put in the dahlia. So it'll be the black and this beautiful rose color, and that green, that moss green is so pretty. The red there, ignore that. And look at the beautiful LDRS Creative dies on top there, using that dropped dye. Love that dye. I use it all the time. But third party confrontation, that's terrible. You know, if somebody has an issue with any, oh, hello, my little buddy. Perfect time to throw me off, right? I always tell you it throws me off. But when people go through people to tell you something that they don't want to, you know, they don't want to portray themselves as really what they really are. They want to go through somebody to do the dirty work, so to speak. I don't like that either. I think it's very unprofessional. I think it's hurtful. And yeah, let me stop at that, because I told myself after the situation happened I was not going to bring it up. I wasn't even going to do this, but in the future I am going to do probably a Q&A. I don't know. I have to think on it. But I tell you what, people need to realize that other people get hurt. And when somebody's trying to do something for somebody, to raise them up, not yourself, to raise them up, and then they go through a third party to say you're not useful anymore. That's pretty hurtful. So let's move on. So here we go. I'm starting the step up stage here. And isn't it pretty on the black? Yes, because it's liquid glue. Just holding it down, holding it down. And let me say this too, I have worked my way through it, okay? So I don't hold any grudges or any, the whole situation was just hurtful because it was done through third party, and that's not nice. You know, I don't like things that are not nice. I think we deserve to treat each other with respect and professionalism in the business. Yeah, so let's keep going. Is that embossing folder beautiful? Those flowers, and especially I used this with the gelatos. You're not going to believe it. Whew. It's raining roses, folks. It's raining roses. So now I'm going to do it 2 high, and then I'm on my 3rd high. Now you think that it's not going to, you know, it's going to look odd, but honestly, the depth in this Scotch brand tape is not that thick. So you are able to do it, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high without it looking odd, because like I said, it's like a stair-step process. And yeah, so that's why I want to say I was MIA, missing in action there. I was trying to get over this hurt and move forward, and I needed some time to set aside. You know, if I'm not on YouTube with my videos, tutorials, it's either because I'm ill, you know, or have migraines, and that's just about it. I don't like to take time off. I like to inspire, bring smiles and enjoyment into everybody's craft room. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Oh, it's so pretty. Yeah, and then, you know, you always get a knot put in your hat instead of a bow. And so you have to work that knot out, and then move on. And so that's what I did. And I will share some, you know, I'll share it later. I think as I am growing out of the situation now and able to give it to the Lord and just set it off and let the Lord deal with it, I'm okay with it. But you know, we all have feelings, right? Try not to use your feelings, but you can't help it. And yes, I've set that aside, and I am just praying for that person and that the Lord will bless them. So here we go. That is pretty in itself, isn't it? You have the green, you have that kind of hunter green, you have the mauve, the pink, the black, and then this dahlia. Ooh, beautiful. Come on, let's go. Let's walk it off. Yeah, so I took a piece of paper because you know I have to make my own base. I did 1, 2, 3 score marks to have my gusset. I want to have 3 or 4 gusset marks. It does not matter. You could get away with 2, but I tell you what. Oh, look at you're looking at my gelato to the right. Eeks! But I'm going to show you how to get that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, cover it up, Carol. Don't let anybody see that. Don't look over there, please. Yeah, so here we go. I'm going to set it down on white because it has the white embossing powder that I embossed with the image with white instead of clear. So it does lend itself to a white base. You know me in white, but wait until you see the inside. I love the inside, and I think it's like buying a reversible top or a dress. Isn't it wonderful? You can just reverse it and you have a whole new look. Well, that's what the inside of this card looks like. You can just flip it over. I do these cards all the time, don't I? Where you can just flip it over and get another style card. If you're putting it out as a display, you get the 2-in-1 thing happening. And yes, I just loved it. And I did that this morning, believe it or not. I set this card aside. I did not know what I was going to do with the inside. And I won't move forward until I know exactly what I'm going to do on the inside. Now, this is the LDRS Creative die. I've used this so many times. I don't have it right in front of me, but it is the lace drop die. And what I did is I cut off the little hanging dies there, the diamond, I call them, the diamond dies. I cut the pink off. It's a pink mauve kind of color. And I put them on the corners. I thought that looked so pretty. But as I got creating with it, I'll hone in on it for you. As I got creating with it, it took away that pink to me, took away from the actual dahlia colors in the oxide inks. To me, it may not to you, it probably would be just super duper leaving it like it is, but as I got creating, I kept looking at it and my eyes kept going out to the corners. So I'll show you what I did to, you know, tone it down and ghost it so that the pink would be ghosted. And then, of course, I have to put some gold in there. And I found the LDRS Creative Butterfly. Hello! We all need cheering up, don't we? Yes, I added these for myself, too. Oh, that was just nice to have that little wee smile. I love it. And so, anywho, yeah, so I had things laid out all over my craft island. Yes, I must be looking at a email must have came in or something. I apologize for that. When you're working all day creating different cards, you can't help but be on the computer from time to time. And here I even had to change my 1/2-inch ATG gun in the middle of this. Oh yes, everything was happening. And then I got it dirty on the back, but that was perfect because I love hefty cards. If it's going to be hefty on the front, add a panel on the back. I distressed the edges so it was all uniform, and I got my stamp out that I got at the stationery store. You'll be able to get a stamp like this at any stationery place. Especially, I'm from Canada, so I went to Beatty's. But I'm sure my international friends will have a place where you can buy these business stamps that you just stamp down, and it's done. And I put on it, Created Especially for You by Carol Held. Oh, sorry for my head there. Now, I want to mix up, on this one, I'm sorry, it's my next card that I mixed it up. This I used clear embossing powder. I'm pretty sure I did. Yes. Boy, I was getting that all mixed up because I did my next card, I'm not going to give it away, I did a 3-part mix, and oh, did it ever turn out nice. I did it on the dahlia, as a matter of fact. So I put 3 embossing powders together. I think you're going to love the combination for any project, especially flowers. And there you have it. That is done. That is done. And now the pink, I needed to do something with that pink. Now I put a congrats on there, and I took out my Creative Basic Butterfly die from LDRS Creative. Angie's dies are fantastic to have on the sideline. Even if I'm not doing a design team project, I have them by my right-hand side in a drawer where in those, zip up, I did a tutorial on the zip up things. I have them there because they're so crazy useful. So I turned my gold MFT glitter paper over because I wanted the back to show gold as well as the front. So if the wings were up, I wanted to have it gold as well. But I didn't even end up using that technique where you have one reversed and one not reversed. But that's a good idea. If you're going to raise up your images, especially with glitter paper, do both sides and then glue them together. And that way when you pinch it shut to make it motion, like it's in motion, little wings, it looks nice to have gold glitter on one side and gold on the other. And isn't this set? Wait until you see the prices on these. I'm going to leave them on my blog. You're going to be blown away. You have to go to the clearance section at LDRS Creative. When Angie clears them out, she clears them out. I'm talking, I have seen $30 dies go for $1.85, okay? Like, I mean, when she doesn't just say, okay, I'm going to take $5 off. No, she clears them out. And so I encourage you, yes, I'm raining gold, gold little glitter rain. Yes, I'm going crazy. Yeah, if you subscribe to me long enough, you know that to be true, right? And in a good way, So here we are. That looks pretty. I like that. I love the hanging butterflies like that, but it covered up the We Are Memory Keepers embossed folder there. And here was my remedy. I'm going to add the gold butterflies. So I thought this hunter green, I have it as a build-up on my card base, right, behind there. And it tones it down. It brings the leaves alive because I have that same color in the Distress Oxide. I painted on the leaves. And I like this much better. You can see the green backdrop on the layers. And you can see the green leaves. And then the gold is not going to it's going to blend itself. So what I did is I took my Nuvo glue adhesive, I squeezed some out, put it on my finger, and just rubbed it on the back of each of these cut off hanging doily die. I'll put it seriously on my blog so you can link right away to it. Now, once this is dry and I have that seated nicely so you can see the pink ghosted effect on the back, I'm going to move on to put the smallest of the butterflies down in that lower section. The lower little piece kind of looks like a keyhole to me. I bent the butterfly and I seated it right down in that little groove, and that the wings don't go flat, they stay up a bit. And I'm showing you how pretty this step up looks. I don't think I have to, it really does, and that's where I found the smallest die down, not there, and the white doesn't go, don't do it in white, but right there. And now with the large of the wings facing towards the image and the small towards the outside of the card, I thought was very, very pretty. And today I'm into pretty. And I got an Altenew set out that had these tiny little sentiment dies. And it says congrats. And I don't have any cards that are, that are on the sideline to use that say congratulations or congrats. You could put congrats on your birthday, congrats on anything, your work, moving ahead for a job, getting a promotion, and you could put congrats for that. That's a pretty card, I think. So I put the gold as the ghost effect first, and then I put the black over top, just off to the left, and it matches the black drop in that emboss. Isn't it oh so pretty? Oh so pretty. And now the Taste en Resistance in the inside. Love it. So I get out my Fiskars press. This, I can't be without this tool. I love this tool. Yes. Fiskars, oh, that's the first stamp press, isn't it? You know, before they came out with all these door hinge things, this was the actual stamp press, I think. I love it. So I offset the dahlia. It's the same dahlia right there on the front as in the inside. I got out the same color oxide inks and I just started pouncing. You can slow it down here to get the names of all the colors that I used. They're probably, you know, Dusty Concord. I saw that. And then I'm going to use 2 different pinks and I'm going to clean it. See where I'm cleaning it right here on the mat, to the glass mat? I bought 2 of these mats, so I had 2. I wet them down and I'm going to just take some stray paper for sentiments on the next card. No, I think it's 2 cards ahead that I'm doing. I don't want to waste any of these oxide inks. It's not, I didn't grab watercolor paper. I grabbed my 140-pound cardstock, which I told you in a previous video that Cougar 110 paper is equivalent to my 140 paper that I get at my stationery store. I laid down all the same colors that were in the dahlia, sprayed it with, just mist it, you know, a little mist here and there. Then I ran these 2 pieces across. I love oxide inks because they're chalky and they mix well. Even if the colors do not coordinate with one another and they get pasty, it still looks good. Doesn't bother me at all. I love the look. Yeah, very vintage, very old school, very shabby chic. Just gorgeous. Yes, so I'm going to clean that off. And then we're going to do something special a little later. For those of you that love my long tutorials, I know you said in my last tutorial, because it was too short, you like my long tutorials. This one's for you. Now spray, once you've put this down, spray it with water and you get this beautiful watercolor look. Look at it. I mean, oh, then here's another card. Look at that. Perfect. That is watercolor perfection right there, my friends. Just don't touch it. Put it down on your first card. Then get your second image on the next page, which will come out not so runny, but I love that runny look. I'm more of a vintage gal than I am everything to be crisp and clean. I like things, yeah. Ooh, let's get those flowers moved on. And the dahlia is easy to match, you know. Most of the petals are going in one direction, so it's easy to just grab the, yeah, keep going, Carol, you'll find it. And yeah, and then put it down, and this is what I thought I would do. Once I get that seated, I'm not worried that it's perfectly set. There it is. Woohoo! I'm not worried that it's perfectly set. I just want it on there, you know, put the, oh, you have to have one of these, I'm telling you. If I had the top 10 products, this would be one of them. I love it. I absolutely love it. Then I took the hybrid ink, Aldera's Creative Hybrid Ink in the Raven little mini, and the sneak peek was that Angie's putting out the minis in the hybrid inks. How fantastical is that? It is very fantastic. So lay it out. I turned it just a little bit so it was offset. I didn't pounce hard so I had a direct image. I wanted it here and there. I put clear embossing powder over it and then I heat set it. So pretty. Let me just see here. I think an image like this, heat set with a little bit of backdrop of black, even a deep violet or green would look beautiful. So let's continue on. I thought you would like that. I put a few greens on the leaves, sprayed them down, set it on the paper. Sorry I'm so close up here. I got so excited about this beautiful technique. I grabbed a baby wipe to sop up just a little bit of the wetness, and then I took one of them off, and without even inking it up another time, I just did the second generation stamping it, and then I went over third generation, fourth generation, grabbed this other leaf, and second generation right here. I mean, you can't get any better than that. Wait till you see what I do with this image here, making a card with it. I think it is beautiful if we're going on the theme, and I hope it brings a smile to your face, because I'm going to tell you what, after this stamped out with the oxide inks, I couldn't have been happier. And one thing that I like about this technique also is you can use regular paints. That would look fantastic. Instead of the oxide, and then stamp it down just like this, and then move the colors around. And there's a lot of possibilities, isn't there? And if you want to have a nice, clean and simple white card, a card set would look really nice made like this with all different sentiments. You know, sympathy sentiment, happy birthday, friendship sentiment, all kinds of things, by just using this quick technique. I was really pleased to have this on this card for you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of it. I love that 14 karat gold embossing powder mixed up with this too. Look at the gold with the pearlescent and the clear all mixed together. Then I just poured it directly onto the image because it was I had stamped it out with the clear embossing clear mark by Nouveau, and I'm just going to pounce it down. I'm going to get rid of that because you can't put that anywhere. It's got 3 mixes in it, and it's the holographic, excuse me. So it's the clear, the holographic, and the beautiful, beautiful 14 karat gold embossing powder. All of that, I would try my best to remember to put it in on my blog. And look at this. Wait till you see it all heat set. This is going to make a beautiful card. That's all I'm going to say. Look at, ooh, I love it. Isn't that pretty? Yes. Pretty's my word for today. Pretty. So there you have it. And I'm going to incorporate that into this upcoming card. Now here's the card all dry. All I want to do is take the same colors, take my Tim Holtz, that flicking thing where you just grab it and you flick it and you get all of these paint splatters. I think it's a paint splatter flicky tool. That's what I'm going to call it. The Tim Holtz paint splatter flicky tool. Easy peasy. The farther apart you pull those threads, those nylon threads, the further apart you get, the smaller the little dots. The more close up you just flick it. No, it's vice versa. The closer you flick it, the tinier the dots. The farther away, the bigger the dots. It's one or the other. You can't. Yeah. Right or wrong, left or right, it's one or the other. But isn't that beautiful? I even did it on the top of the white because I don't like stark naked white cards. So here I'm just showing you the colors I used in 492 mile-an-hour winds right there. And I will put it on my blog for you, of course. Thank you so much, everybody, for letting me vent a little bit. I am truly looking forward to moving forward and having a wonderful time on my YouTube channel. And I am heat setting the little dots, which are amazing. I love that Tim Holtz flicky paint tool. I added a Copic line to each of the leaves so they attached. I also attached that gold butterfly for a little pretty in the center of the flower. So you take care, everybody. I'm looking forward to posting these other tutorials, and you have yourself a blessed week and enjoy all of the pictures. Take care, everybody.